Hello. So today I'm gonna summarize the webinar that I have been taken in 3 days with Mr. Rafi about creating global teachers with best online teaching approach and strategies. Okay. In the first day, it's talking about communication. Communication is divided into many kinds. Communication can be happen if there is sender, medium, there is message in the medium and the receiver of the message, and the receiver gave a feedback to the sender, and communication can be happen. The model of communication, there is linear communication, interactional communication, and transactional communication. In linear, only the sender and give a message to the receiver. In interactional, it's circling, like a circle. Sender give a message to the receiver give a feedback and to the sender, and sender give a feedback again, kind of like that. There is circle between sender and receiver, like talking. And transactional, kind of communication is there is verbal and non-verbal communication. In verbal communication, there is oral communication and written. Oral is like we talking with the student, and the written is written on the not with talking, I mean. And in non-verbal, there is kinetic, that's mean a gesture, proxemics, and there is chronemics too. Chronemics is about time. Okay, the type of communication, there is three type. That intrapersonal, from ourselves. Interpersonal is for two or more people in the same group. And mass communication, that's it, use many population there. The purpose of communication is for information, give information, education, and persuasion. Give information, education, and persuade us to do something. Okay, that's in the day 1. And in the day 2, they talk about what is oral communication and what is the barrier in oral communication for the sender and for the receiver, many more. Yes, I'm very agree that many especially for barrier for receiver, because listening skill of your student is very limited, so it's very hard to do English, even in virtual, even in real classroom and virtual, of course. Okay, and they talk about feedback, like you say well done, you say good job. It's very same, just like the same with reinforcement. The reinforcement very have we did to the student, because a student will engage with what you talk, with what you teach to them with reinforcement. And they talk about how to making communication. Writing communication kind of the process, the challenge, the strategies. That the challenge is very true. Like a vocab, failing structure idea, the weak of argument, poor grammar skill. It's also and unfamiliar topics. It's very true. Uh, in the day 3, they talk about how to do with the virtual classroom to make interactive virtual classroom. And this is very important to us as a teacher, because in virtual communication, in virtual lesson, the strategies very important to us, because we use online system, allow teacher and student in online teaching. So the way to stay connected with our student is to do mix different mode communication, like text, video, audio, like experiment and mix. The challenge is very true. There is many challenges to us to make virtual classroom that I said. Always there is challenges for us, like the time management, the process in school, gadget shortage, technical difficulties, of course, lack of interaction also, because we only like use from from the teacher to the student A, and it's only the student A can answer, only like very minimum student talk with each other. Is very different with the communication, physical communication classroom that we usually did. Okay, now we're talking about ways to make virtual classroom interactive. It can be used visual and voice, but you have to add more support interactional objective, because if you use visual and only write on text there, student will not engage it, not very feel comfortable with it. And if you use whiteboard, you have to use notation tools to make student understand what you do. If we do virtual classroom, we can use the online whiteboard tool like whiteboard.fi, and we can also use chat room using open-ended question, and you have to do a technical assistance. And you can use polling. Polling is very powerful technique, very improving, but once again you have to master that first before you use that to your student. The online tools that we can that available to us, like Zoom Pulse on application of Zoom, Mentimeter, and Easy Pulse. That we learned that day is we opened the Mentimeter, and it's very fun. It's talk about India and it's very fun. And we can use tests and quizzes. The online tools that we can use to do tests and quizzes, like Google Forms, it's very quite good. But in Kahoot, you really very engaged. Student will really feel fun because colorful. Yes, it's colorful. And Mentimeter, we can use Mentimeter too. And we can, if we use maybe Zoom, or when you do virtual communication, we can use audio discussion, talking in audio, on mute, mute, on mute, and we can use icons like raise your hand, like thumb up. People, student will understand that. Okay. Uh, the thing that you have to do to balance teaching, to make teaching activities like we do break content and that digestible, adapt in class activities, make our student feel valued, and set the goals, present our best self when you do online. Be patient with your students. Every student will be different, so we have to be patient with them. Each of them is different, so we have to understand that. Okay, I think that's that. Can I summarize from the meeting, from the webinar session, the 3-day session? I think it's more than 5 minutes, I'm sorry, but I really like it. I really amazed with the webinar did to us. Thank you.